Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, please do me a favor and subscribe. It would really help us out. Now, let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got writer, director Todd Wolf with me. So welcome, Todd.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you. So we had Tray was on last week.
That's my dude right there.
Yeah, he was just raving about your movie. So it's We Need to Talk is the movie, and he was just so excited to be in that.
I've known Tray a long time. I did a movie with him, maybe 10 years ago with Meek Mill called Streets.
Yeah.
And it was a bromance from the beginning. As soon as I saw him on screen, I was like, man, he's really good. And then he's just got the biggest heart in the world, and he's stayed in touch all these years. And then when this came up, and I was writing this, and I knew this one part, and I was like, "This is Tray all day." I was like, "Tray, will you be in this?" He was like, "Say no more. When you need me there." And So I basically cast him just off of our friendship.
That's awesome. Yeah, and he really is such a good actor and just a nice guy.
Yes.
And he's killing it on the HBO show right now.
Oh, I love it. I mean, when I watched the first episode and I saw him in it, as much as he was in it, I was like, dude, you're all over this show. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is your show now.
That's it. He's so good. and it was fun seeing him on the opposite side. You know, he's actually the police officer in this one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I love it. And that's what I love him about him in this movie. He just gets to play something totally different.
Yeah, so we got to talk about that, but before we do that, tell me a little bit about what got you into the entertainment business.
Oh, that's a good question. I started in the record business years ago. So I worked in the hip hop record business. I worked at Rough House Records.
Yeah,
which was like Lauryn Hill, Fugees, Cypress Hill, Wyclef, Crisscross, all
those
guys.
Sort of
all those guys. So yeah, I was in the record business for a while. And then that kind of like led me into music video and stuff like that. And then, do a couple of music videos. And then all of a sudden you're kind of doing these little independent films we did a lot of like hip hop independent films with my buddy Jamal Hill. We did a bunch of movies, and one of them was Streets with Meek Mill. And that just kind of hooked me at that point. I was like, all right, let's see if I can throw my hat in the ring here.
Well, when you started, did you already know how to do like music videos? How do you come up with that?
I mean, in college, we had courses on music video and editing and all that stuff. And at the time I was in school, the editing was like tape to tape. And I was like, this is awful. This is terrible. I was like, I hate this. I mean, and don't get me wrong. We shot a music video and I won an award for it. And I was like, yeah, cool. I never want to do this again. And then over the course of the years, again, my buddy was making some indie films, and I got introduced to Final Cut. And I was like, oh, I like this. Yeah. And then that really sucked me into like editing. Like I'm an editor. I've been an editor for a long time, doing a lot of indie. I've probably done 10, 12 feature films that I've edited over the years.
Wow.
So, that's kind of where I learned some of, I steal from the best. So all the good things I've seen, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that, or I'm not going to do that. Or I'll do that. So, when the time came to kind of do this, I've seen how it's been done, kind of good, bad, and in between. And, this isn't my first film that I've directed, but it's been the first one in a while.
Yeah. So if you ever had that itch to step in front of the camera, or do you stay strictly behind the camera?
I step in front of the camera when we need extras, and they're like, "Oh yeah, just do it." And I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be on the subway with my hat on, looking at my phone, or you can catch me in a couple of the films that I've produced or helped with." So I'm in there, Easter egg.
I think if I was writing or directing, I would throw myself in there in something I couldn't mess up, but I'd be in every film somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the only place I'm in and we need to talk is just some of the Easter egg comments on his screen when he's looking at comments.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
all kinds of Easter eggs in there regarding projects I like or films I like or Easter eggs of things I've done in the past. So that's pretty much the only place I show up outside of, my stupid humor is all over this thing. So that's my bad on that one.
Yeah, I think that's probably good. That's probably what makes the movie.
Thank you.
We enjoy the humor side, especially when it's a little quirky.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of comedy first and foremost. And then on top of it, I like it to also have a little bit of meat, a little bit of heart.
Yeah.
So, that we were trying to strike all those chords, for better or for worse in this film. So, I love a good dick joke with with some tear jerking aspects of it. So, I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all.
Well, I love the idea behind the movie, but I'll give you a chance to explain what is it about?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's about work-life balance. But specifically, It's about a YouTuber called Great Scott Gamer, and he's a video gamer celebrity, played by James Maslow from Big Time Rush. And he's a little narcissistic, a little eccentric, a little odd, kind of like your classic spoiled man child type of character, like almost like a Billy Madison. I realized over the last couple of years, over the last year or so. And before his living girlfriend goes to work, she says to him, "We need to talk." He's not paying attention, and she rolls, and then all of a sudden it hits him. He's like, "Oh snap!" She said, "We need to talk," and it just sends him spiraling out of control over the course of the day. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He does the worst thing he can possibly do. He asks the internet for help. And that ends terribly for him. And over the course of the whole thing, he kind of finds himself, and it's a little bit of a coming of age, like kind of realizing like, oh, my priorities are really messed up, and I need to get myself together. So that's kind of the journey he takes to varying degrees of success. And he's a work in progress by the end of it.
It's a very true to life film, I think. And I love the fact that nobody's really done that from the gaming aspect. But gaming, I mean, it can absolutely just take over your life. And I could see where it would be very difficult to have that balance, especially when you're kind of gaming as your job. Be tough to have that balance. So I'm surprised that nobody's done that yet, but good for you for coming up with it. That's pretty great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I worked with YouTubers over the years, and that was part of the aspect that I was like, man, this life is crazy. Like the person that's on screen, and then the person who's you talk to in real life, like sometimes they are two different people.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, sometimes some folks don't know how to turn it off, and you're like, come on, man, you can like, are you still performing? Like, what's going on? And so like that wild world was like one aspect that I was like, I've never seen necessarily that aspect behind the scenes of the YouTube world. And then just the layer of gaming was super interesting. I'm a gamer, and I love gaming, and I know how much time it can suck up and kind of take you away from your family, let alone if it's your job, and then you have to be this persona, and then, you're celebrated and nothing you can do is wrong. It's just a setup it could set you up to be, not a good person in your personal relationship. And that's kind of what we explore with this young man.
Yeah, I think that's terrific. Have you been getting, did you reach out to YouTubers or gamers to kind of take a look at it? Have you been getting good feedback on it?
Yeah, so far. And there's even cameos in the film. So we've got a bunch of cameos from real life gamers.
That's awesome.
HipHopGamer's in it. A bunch of folks from Team Secret. That's a professional gaming crew. GlitterXplosion, DubDotDUBBY is in it. So we got a couple cameos from folks that I was really trying to blur the lines between Great Scott Gamer and the gaming community, because as a gamer, I wanted to respect the community and the folks that are in this. I didn't want to just paint gamers as like losers or everybody's obnoxious. No. Like, we all enjoy time with our friends online, and it's a community that I'm a part of and that I respect. And I wanted to pay respect to that by not only being true to gaming in the film, but also kind of shine some light on some cool people that do this for real, for real.
Yeah, for sure. So are you basing some of the characters on people you actually know, or are you taking different aspects of them and creating your own? How's that work?
Yeah, I mean, I took some of the eccentric parts of Scott from some of the YouTubers I worked with. If you're a photographer, you probably know FroKnowsPhoto. I worked with him for years and years and years and years, and he's an eccentric one. And I've definitely borrowed, aspects of him because he wears the same T-shirt with his logo on all the time. And I was like, dude, put another shirt on. Like, I'm not going out with you if you don't put another shirt on. He's like, no, I'm wearing my shirt. It's branding. I'm like, okay. So I pretty much lifted like that from him. And then, but some of the relationship is hits a little more home for me. And I think we're all guilty of it. We put so much time and effort into trying to be successful in whatever we're chasing that sometimes we forget why we're chasing it. Like, we want to be successful so that, the people in our lives can benefit from that. And sometimes we can lose sight of it. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure lots of other folks are. And Scott is a worst case scenario. And so hopefully you can walk away from the film. Like I had somebody tell me, yeah, after watching the movie, I really liked it. He's like, but I went and made reservations for me and my wife afterwards because I was like, I need to really do better. So maybe I can get some good dinner dates out of this later on. People can go have fun with their significant others.
Yeah, I love that. Does it explore kind of the relationship side of it from the non-gamer side, or do you look at it from their side and how they're having to deal with, this person that's kind of enveloped in the gaming?
I think it's a little more universal than that. I mean, I think the gaming is just something he does. And I think from the gaming side, it also shows not only the negative side of the internet, but it shows more of the positive community aspect of gaming. I think if anything, it kind of shines light. Like, he has a crew of true friends that are around him that are trying to give him good advice, gaming and in real life, that he just kind of ignores for a chunk of the film and until it kind of gets through his thick skull. So I think it's kind of both ends. I think it shines light on the negative sections of being obsessed with games, or maybe being obsessed with being an influencer or the likes and social media. But it also shows the positivity of these communities and what they can do to build. I'm sure you've got a great community that follows your podcast, and they're probably great people. So, I mean, that's the positive side, I think, of all this stuff. Right along with the negative, it just depends on how you deal with it as a person.
I love
Scott
that.
doesn't do a great job at it.
Yeah, I love that because it really is true. Fans of anything, the majority, all positive. But there are a little bit of negative in there if you let it, kind of become too much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I love the positive side where it's very supportive, because that part's true. Whether you're gaming or like, I used to be a comic book store owner, and we did the whole, you had the whole comic book community, and that was the best part about it, was just the community part and getting together and talking about things that you love, same type of thing. So I love the fact that you're highlighting that as well. And it's not just poking fun.
Not at all. I mean, I always say I'd rather have people laugh at the situation people find themselves in, as opposed to laughing at a person in general.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, Scott gives us a lot to laugh at him because he's an idiot. But it's on purpose. It's on purpose.
That's right. So your cast is pretty amazing. Talk a little bit about the other actors that you got for the cast.
So, well, first and foremost, great Scott is James Maslow from Big Time Rush, and I would say if you were a fan of Big Time Rush and kind of that silly humor, James certainly pulled from that for some of the parts. But he also had a real heavy lift of doing some of the more dramatic, heartfelt stuff, and I certainly challenged him in that regard, and he stepped up. You already mentioned Tray Chaney. He plays one of the gamers in his crew, and Tray from The Wire. He played Poot. I love him to death. He's incredible. He brings such a great flavor to the whole thing. We also have Johnathan Hernandez. He's currently in Gossip Girl. And he was also in Lethal Weapon, which a lot of people were fans of, the Lethal Weapon show on
he's good
Fox.
actor.
He's amazing. He was so well grounded, and but also an incredible improviser. So many lines in that film, like he would do what I said, but then he'd add a little something on the end. I'm like, do that again. Yes, please. More of that, please. So he's wonderful. I love him to death. Christel Khalil from Young and the Restless. She plays Allie,
nice.
his girlfriend, and she just was a pro. I mean, she was the adult in the room in the film, basically, and she knew exactly what she needed to be and just nailed that. And then we have Emily Bett-Ricard as Amber, and I mean, we just tried to keep up with her. Like, she came in, she knew what the character was, and we just tried to make sure we were in focus, keeping up with her. She was unbelievable. So the 5 of them were pretty amazing, and then we had a couple local folks from Philadelphia that are absolutely in other TV shows you've seen. Peter Patrikos is Daddy Gamer. He's incredible. Christine King, she plays Ladyfinger. She's local, but you've seen her in a lot of TV shows. And then the kid, Devin, he played Kyle, and he's a young buck coming up, and he's got a good future in front of him as well. So we had a good mix of famous folks and a lot of really nice homegrown talent that we were able to shine light on.
Yeah, that's terrific. So more difficult to write or direct?
I would say they're kind of equal, especially if it's one and the same. If you're writing and directing, it's kind of like it's your story already, so you already saw it in your head, and you're just trying to like get that on screen. I think the hardest part was probably the editing and just the post process. I mean, trying to make sure comedy's hard, and trying to make sure the beats hit right, the emotional stuff hits right. And then at the same time, there's a little bit of soul to it. That's a difficult balance. And, I struggled all the way up to the end here to try to make sure it was all working properly. And then on top of that, you had COVID going on. That made things last longer in post-production. And then we had over 250 visual effects shots in this movie, which you'd say to me, like, why, Todd? Because every screen in that movie was a green screen. Every television, every phone, everything, every game that they were playing was not there. We put that all in post-production. So the game they play, Headshots, we actually made that game. We created that game from scratch.
Nice.
And then the game they play all the time is a game called Splitgate, which is really popular right now on consoles. So if you haven't checked that out, it's great. But we found them when they were just kind of getting up and running. And I was like, this game is perfect for this movie, and I feel blessed that they're a part of the game now, or a part of the movie, I should say.
Well, yeah, and not terrible on their end either, because it's advertising for their game.
It's a win-win. I'll say that. Yeah. It's a win-win. Yeah, I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Were you filming, during the pandemic, or did you get in before and then just have to do the post?
We shot it. We shot it in the summer of 2019. So we were right before, and then we did some test screenings like January 2020 of a rough cut, and then we were like, we should do a couple pickup shots, or we should try to do a little something, and then boom, pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And then so if you've seen the film, you'll see that there's kind of this fourth wall break where he's talking to his audience through a YouTube video. We did that during the pandemic. Like, that was a pickup that wasn't originally scripted. So that was something that I kind of figured out, that I was like, you should get more into his head, so what he's thinking about these events. And it was the perfect solution to, like, of course he would make a video about the drama in his life, because that's what he does. But then you can also get a sense of like how this ordeal is affecting him after the fact, as opposed to in the moment, because he doesn't quite act right in the moment sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I kind of like that part of it, because you're really getting a chance to be inside his head. And you start out with, you're like, what are you doing? But then you kind of get to see the light turn on a little bit.
Exactly. It's a long road for him. It's a road he's still traveling.
Yeah, I think the Billy Madison, that's kind of that's appropriate. I think as far as a comp, a little bit of the character he is. I thought Tommy Boy a little bit maybe.
For sure. Yeah, kind of that man child that kind of really needs to grow up. And he managed to grow up just a little bit over the course of the whole thing. He still has some work to do, but he's getting there.
Did you run into issues that you weren't expecting while you were putting it together?
Putting it together, not really. I mean, I'll be honest. Our production ran super smooth. We shot it in 20 days. It was
that's fast.
It was a joy. I mean, and keep in mind, we were probably in his apartment 12 days out of those 20. A lot happens in his apartment. But yeah, I mean, the only issues we really had were just fine tuning the funny, and trying to balance, how much of a jerk he is, and how much heart we want to put into it, and just balancing just kind of that emotional roller coaster for him. And so that you could feel for him and kind of root for him at a certain point. Like at a certain point, you're like probably yelling at the screen, like, what are you doing? You're an idiot. But then, eventually you're like, oh, he's trying. Like he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he's trying. And, yeah, that was probably the toughest part, just kind of finding the heart in the film to kind of, and that was all in the edit. Just trying to find the right takes. And you put the F word in a script for actors, and they take liberty to add it a lot more. So we had to cut around that sometimes. Like, yeah, guys, let's keep it to 17 F words, not 25. So what are you gonna do?
I think it's a tough balance not to get to the point where he's just so ridiculous that you're like, nobody would be like that. That's a tough one because you want him to be believable without making him completely ridiculous, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I did try to ground him in the way, and I think the way he's grounded is the supporting cast. I mean, I think Allie and Joe, Johnathan, and Christel, they are such good actors and play so grounded and well in the space that you can see that he's ridiculous, but he's in the real world. And then when you see him kind of transition, you can it makes it easier for him to transition because the whole world isn't ridiculous. He's just the oddball. He's the one that needs to kind of figure things out. So by having people that strong and grounded surrounding him in the cast, I think helps that transition and kind of keeps him balanced and grounded and makes his journey a little easier.
Yeah, that's so great. So the movies We Need to Talk, where can we go to watch this?
Sounds like you can watch it just about anywhere now. I believe it's on Apple TV. You can watch it on Amazon. You can watch it on Tubi right now, and a host of other places. I'm sure
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it really is. I'm happy. I'm happy for it to be out there in all these different places for people to watch. I think it's available only in North America right now, but it'll very soon. To let everybody know that keeps tweeting at me that it will be available internationally soon. We are just getting everything uploaded and straightened out in that regard, but that'll be soon as well. So it should be available worldwide, probably, hopefully in the next month or so.
Yeah, it's so terrific. We're so excited to watch it. So we've been putting together, our gaming group. So all the friends and stuff that are at least part-time gamers or maybe grew up gaming, and then we're going to premiere it here in the studio this weekend. So we're super excited to do that. We were hoping to get it done for last weekend, but we couldn't get everybody together, so we waited till.
No worries, man. Well, be sure to let me know what you thought. Be sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're so excited about it. As soon as I started saying it's about this guy that's a gamer that struggles with his relationships, they were like, yeah, that checks out. So,
that checks out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, again, I hope you enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what your gang thinks about it, and
yeah, it's going to be great. Any plans to continue some of these characters going forward?
It's funny. I mean, we've had some premieres, and that's the first thing people ask me: is there going to be a sequel? And I'm like, well, if enough people watch it and enough people demand it, from your mouth to God's ears, we'll try to make a sequel.
Yeah.
And we're also talking about, maybe this is more of something that's episodic that we could move forward with.
It'd make a pretty good TV show or a streamer.
That's what I've been told. So we'll see where the cards fall.
Yeah, that could be really good. What went into deciding how you were going to get it out there? Did you think about maybe going the film festival route first, or did you want to just kind of get it out there right from the beginning?
I definitely wanted to do the film festival route. Obviously, during COVID, festivals had a rough time.
Yeah, they did.
Just financially and just trying to have one come off. So I love film festivals. I had my very first film, Left Right, with my brother years back. We had a blast. Doing film festivals, and we would come off each festival and we would kind of tweak the film each time, because just based on like, oh, you know what, this could play better, or this played great. Like we kind of felt it was like mini test screenings that we would be able to do, and it was wonderful. So it was really hard. There was a film festival in Philadelphia called First Glance, and this year's their 25th, so they've been around a long time, and they were lucky enough to have an in-person one, socially distanced, in this giant old school theater that was gorgeous.
Nice.
And it had a good chunk of people in there, even though the capacity was low. And I got to screen it for an audience then, and it played really well. And we ended up winning 6 awards. We won Best Comedy, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Ensemble, and then Best of the Fest. So I was like, well, I guess it doesn't suck. So that's a plus. But I really miss not being able to share it in a theater to hear the laughs, because I love that you're doing it with your group of folks, because I feel like comedies are so much more fun and funny when it's kind of like in a group environment. So, man, I wish I could be there with you. I wish I could be there with you.
We got enough room for, we could probably squeeze 20 in, but at least 15. So we're gonna have a decent sized group. And you're right. The best experiences I've had at the movie are going to a comedy where somebody or several people end up getting tickled, and it's contagious. Yeah. And you end up you enjoy it so much more because it becomes this big experience and you're not just watching a movie.
Yeah. We had a premiere on last Friday, and the theater was pretty full, and all the actors were there, and it was so fun to hear where the laughs really hit. I knew where some of them would, and then some of them I'm always surprised at like where the new places are. There's a lot of depth to the film if you really choose to look for it. There's a lot of things going on and a lot of layers to it and a lot of Easter eggs. If you're a gamer, especially, there's things that you're going to appreciate. So, watching it with a group is certainly going to be a blast, and I envy you, Mike, and I wish I could be there with you. But I will say to your group of folks, enjoy. Thank you for watching. Hopefully they enjoy it when you guys get together.
Yeah, I'm sure that I think it's going to be terrific. What's your video game? If you had to pick one game to play, what is it?
I currently play Destiny 2. That's what I'm playing a lot of right now. Yeah, I play Destiny 2. We were playing Warzone for a while, but before that we were playing Destiny as well. So we took a break, played Warzone for a while, and then Destiny 2. I got a lot going on, so as we all do as grown-ups. So I need something I can kind of jump in and out of.
That's right.
Shoot some aliens, jump back out, jump back in. So I got a core group of buddies that I play with regularly, and some of them are gonna, they've seen very familiar things in this film. They're like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. You jerk! You put it in the movie.
I think that'd make it fun.
It is, and if you're a gamer, you're going to recognize a lot of these archetypes. Whether it's the dad who stays home with the kids and plays all day, or the guy that has a girlfriend, an online girlfriend throughout the court, that you game with, or the guy that lives at home with his parents, or the foul-mouthed kid, that's always the teenager, the foul-mouthed teenager. It's like they're all there, and all part of his little gang, giving him his advice for better or for worse, and it's quite a ride.
I love it. I love it. Well, Todd, thank you so much for coming on and talking a little bit about it. So the movie is We Need to Talk. It's available everywhere. So we all need to get out there and watch it. Yeah. I mean, it sounds hilarious. And we're looking for good things to watch right now.
Yeah. And I would say, I'll leave you with this. I mean, it's a really fun movie for some serious times. I mean, I think we all need a break. I think we all need to sit back and have a good laugh. And hopefully this could be a part of that for you.
I love it. I love it. So a couple of quick things, Todd, before you go. Anything else you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
I have a script I've been working on for a while. It's called Adultland, and it's about a video store clerk who, and it's set in the early 2000s, and his best friend decides to get married and give up porn, and he tries to change his mind, and he's got some things to figure out to try to make all that work. So again, it's another man child. You might see a pattern here, but he needs to grow up himself. Super funny. I've been trying to get it off the ground for a while, and I think it's in a good place now to finally try to move forward with it. So definitely trying to make that happen.
Too. Yeah,
it's going to be set in rural Pennsylvania. I grew up in rural Pennsylvania, so it'll be set small town, and it's kind of one of these things, like as the industry was transitioning from physical to digital media, the adult entertainment industry. It's kind of this transition with small towns where a lot of these small towns are changing really fast. You know what I mean? And sometimes, folks aren't really comfortable with the change that's happening in these small towns, and it's kind of dear to my heart. I love my small town roots, and hopefully I can shine a little light on them and have a couple laughs while we do it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I grew up in a small town, and we kind of, especially with the video stores, we were behind. Like nationwide, most of them were closing down. Ours were still doing pretty well for several years.
The one near my hometown still there, doing fine. So
the last thing, Tom, before I let you go, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on socials. I am Todd Wolf, Wolf with an E. So I am Todd Wolf with an E, and I'm out there. You can come chat with me. Yeah, you're pretty easy to chat with. Yeah. By all means, I look at everything. So by all means, if you liked it, let me know. If you don't, please don't tell me, because I have a fragile ego. I'll fall to pieces. So yeah,
only positives.
Only positive things in me. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it fun.
See, don't you think that's good advice just in life in general? If it's positive, go ahead and say it. If it's negative, just keep it to yourself. Yeah, well, like your mom said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Yes, and somehow we've gotten away from that. Yeah. I think it's the anonymity of just being a hash behind the social media stuff. You not have to face somebody face to face. That's it. I think if maybe we all need to talk. We all need to talk more. We need to talk personally, one-on-one, all of us together, and have a good time. Life's too short. Life's too short. Maybe that's the answer. Is if you're going to say something negative, it should pop up on the device and Mike Wall is at this location currently. Yeah. I'll be there in 5, man. You want to talk like that? I'll be there in 5. If you're going to be negative, it's going to tell everybody exactly where you're at. Yeah, you got to put a little geo tracking and be like, all right, that's what you want to say. All right. All right, that's where you want to go. Yeah, I think positivity is the name of the game, and again, like I said, I hope the film is fun, and I hope it gives everybody a smile and a laugh, and can kind of be a little vacation from things that are so much more serious that are going on out there. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Todd. This has been the best. You're so welcome. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so that was writer-director Todd Wolf, and the movie is We Need to Talk. So make sure, especially if you're a gamer or you enjoy the relationship type of comedies, you got to check that out. It sounds terrific. I can't wait to watch it. That's one we're going to do here in the studio that we're just really, really excited about. And Todd, such a great guy. So get out there and support him and help him to to make this movie a success. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Really appreciate you tuning in with us again this episode. You keep coming back. Really appreciate that. Don't take it for granted. If you haven't done so yet, if this is the first time that you've seen us or you've listened to us and you liked it, please do us a favor and subscribe. It would really help us out, help us to grow so that we can keep bringing wonderful, terrific people onto the show. We've done almost 400 of these. I can't believe it. And you can find every one of them, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. If we're doing anything in studio, like watching We Need to Talk, or if we're going on location, or if we're covering a convention, all of that will be on the website, meistercon.com. So definitely check that out. Until next time, bye, everybody.